What's up, everybody? I'm Colin Sheehan. He's Vinny Blonde. We are back with episode 2 of the Kentucky Derby prep briefing. It's never too early to talk Derby. Vinny, I got some new swag here from Assiniboia Downs and courtesy of Stable Duel on my Monday Night Lights. You like that?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a unique hat. That's I can't imagine too many people have that hat, so
Me
it's
and Dennis
definitely
Trusty.
definitely a talking point.
Me and Trusty, we're going to do the runway together. We've been talking. So I got my shirt for doubling down this week, and I've got some great content that we're going to fire out on that one, talking about
Oh
your
yeah,
boy.
Senior
We'll save that.
Buscador.
We'll save that,
Yeah.
but make sure you tune in. So this show is all about that trail to the Kentucky Derby, and on Saturday, October 1st, we saw the Champagne Stakes in a sloppy track at Belmont at the Big A. What'd you think, Vinny?
Hard to take. Like, it was a good race by Blazing Sevens. He won. Even the runner-up, Verify, I thought ran fairly well. A very sloppy track at Aqueduct. This Aqueduct sloppy track is, I don't know. Hard to really take away a lot out of this besides the fact that the first two finishers ran very well, in my opinion. Blazing Sevens definitely I think wants two turns. I think Verifying is the same way. I think he wants two turns as well. So it'll be exciting to see them stretch out. Third place finisher Gulfport, he keeps getting bet. I think he might be one that's probably going to get cut back in distance. His pedigree does say he might want to go longer. But he just hasn't looked it. He just can't finish off these races, and I think they're going to cut him. I think they'll cut him back, or they'll just run him, and he'll be the horse cleaning up on like the Iowa Derby and stuff like that next year. If he stays healthy, because I think he's already shown he's not a top. He's not going to be at the top of this class.
Nice burst of speed there too by Blazing Sevens at the end of the stretch there. Uh,
Yeah,
it
he looked
seems
good.
like from looking at the pedigree, at least according to Brisnet, the average winning distance is only 5.7 with Good Magic on top. It does have Curlin in there as well, but from that little, at a mile distance and to show that speed at the end, it was at least something to keep an eye on for next time with him.
Yeah, it's just tough because Curlin. I mean, anything out of that Curlin line is probably gonna love the slop. It's
True.
at that point you like good magic. Good magic probably they're all gonna like the slop too, and same with Verifying. Justify line there, they're all probably gonna also like the slop. So that's why it's kind of tough to judge. Exactly how good they are. I definitely would give them both a look next time out at a similar class level. At the moment, though, I think both of them would really need to improve to beat the likely favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, who we'll get to in a little bit here.
Yeah, good job by you on last episode saying look out for race 5 and race 7 on Saturday, October 1st over at Churchill. We ended up seeing Tappett's Conquest with, I thought, a very impressive 4-length win at a mile and a 16th there in race 5. Someone to certainly keep your eye on. But I actually want to look at race 7 and Frank's Honor, who also won by 4 lengths. And we'll bring up the video here. He's the one on the inside here, and sure, you can say it's a clean trip, but watch what he has to do here to get the lead. This isn't easy. And the 3 here, you'll see the jockey look to his left because he knows he's squeezing them, and the 1 does a really good job, in my opinion, of getting to the lead right there, right? But these are
Yep.
2-year-olds, right? I mean, this isn't easy for a horse like this on his 3rd time out. And so he gets up to the front here. Sure, I think they go 24 and 48, and that's nothing to look, you don't go crazy
Yeah.
about that. But I thought for sure a 2-year-old coming down the stretch here, he's going to hang, and sure, he saved ground, but he's pulling away from this field. And I thought Frank's Honor was something to pay attention to here.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm going to guess this is a horse that we see skip the Breeders' Cup and point for the Kentucky Jockey Club. That's honestly probably going to be a realistic target for this horse. Distance clearly good. Already likes Churchill Downs. That's usually a lot of people look for that angle. But
Me.
these 2-year-old races, even like when they're throughout the week, like they're kind of just races keep an eye on, even if they're only 7 furlongs. That one was a mile and a 16th, so definitely is nice to see them succeed early, going 2 turns. But especially this early on, you keep an eye on them because these Derby, the Derby hopefuls do end up really coming out of nowhere. They don't all debut on the undercard of a big day like Breeders' Cup Day, or like even going back to Saratoga, Travers Day, Pennsylvania Derby Day. They don't always debut on those big days. Some just debut on random days. So just tab the 2-year-old races.
And someone to keep an eye out on that I circled is the 9. 10 days later, the other Ken McPeak in that race. He had a nice big late run, was inside and cut all the way to the outside to get around the little wall of horses there. Obviously, that was too much to overcome what that one was doing. But 10 days later is a horse that you may want to circle as someone that maybe can have a good run back on the next one. So 10 points there in the Champagne. We'll bring up those stakes standings real quick. As you see from the Champagne Stakes, Blazing Sevens picks up 10 points. So it's him and Curly Jack for all you Happy Jack fans out there. Verifying the half to Midnight Bisou picks up 4 and Gulfport picks up 3. But like you said, we don't think really after what we've seen from Gulfport, although Gulfport's had some pretty sloppy tracks to deal with, that would be the only reason he made it.
He has, but his pedigree also says he should be able to handle it. I don't think he's going to be at the top of this class, and I think it wouldn't surprise me if they just keep trying the Derby trail with him, but I have a feeling that I think he'll be much more successful cutting back than he will be stretching out.
October 8th, 2022, we have 2 races on the trail to the Kentucky Derby, both also winning your ins in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. The first will go out to Santa Anita, the American Pharaoh. Mile and a 16th point system. Remember, it goes 1 through 5 for points for the Kentucky Derby. 10 to first, 4 to second, 3 to third, 2 to fourth, 1 to fifth. I'm going to run out of there. Winners in the past of the American Pharaoh are, of course, American Pharaoh. Nyquist also won this race, and Bob Baffert has won it 9 times, and we think Bob Baffert's got another live one here, don't we, Vinny?
Yeah, Cave Rock has he's just looked much the best here. He's right now he's the likely favorite of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, barring something happens in the American Pharaoh and he doesn't get it done. He's just looked the best. I'm not particularly a huge fan of Cave Rock. His last race wasn't like, the time was unbelievable, but it wasn't like, in my opinion, it wasn't like earth shattering like everybody else thought it was. But there's no question about it. He's the top of this class right now, and until somebody even comes near him, it's kind of hard to go against him. Baffert does have a few others on the probable list here. I have a feeling that they probably don't all go here. I have a feeling that we might see, Newgate might run again against him, but I think some of the others that are listed as probables probably won't end up going against Cave Rock here.
Yeah, National Treasure is one of those ones listed that I'm excited to see run back for a second time. I think you'll also see the second and third place finishers to Cave Rock last time, Skinner and Having a Meltdown, who's another Baffert who may also jump in. The other race that we have this weekend is the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland. Same point system, 10, 4, 3, 2, 1, first through fifth, a mile and a 16th. Winners in the past include Swale and Whirlaway. It's important to note that from 2006 to 2013, this race was run on the synthetic. Only Street Sense, who was third in the Breeders' Futurity, came back to win the Kentucky Derby when it was synthetic. 2015 through 2018, back to the dirt. It's had 11 Derby starters, including Looking at Lee and Exaggerator. So pretty good track record of at least getting some starters in the gate coming out of the Breeders' Futurity. And do you have the probable list for that race?
Yeah. A Forte is going to headline that, the winner of the Grade 1 hopeful at Saratoga. He did win that in the slop. But Forte had a lot of promise after his maiden win, then kind of fell back in the Stanford, and then regrouped in the hopeful. Carmel Road for Baffert is Carmel Road and National Treasure are on both probables lists at the moment. I would expect to see one of them here. I prefer Carmel Road, actually, and I'm not a huge fan of Quality Road horses, but I feel like Quality Road Quality Growth colts, I should say. Usually, I feel like they peak early, so those are two that I definitely keep an eye on. I'd keep an eye on here, but yeah, this race can. I think somebody's gonna have to run out of their skin here for them to really be a contender. Even as much as I like Forte, I'm not super high on him going into next year already, just because of the pedigree. Violence hasn't been great. He just hasn't. They don't seem to really take a big jump forward year to year. So kind of holding back on that, but he should, if he wins here, okay, maybe we have something. But I feel like all eyes are on Cave Rock this upcoming weekend, and he's the one to really look at.
For sure. One horse I just would like to point out is Honed, who ran second to Curly Jack in the Iroquois. This horse had a little bit of trouble in the stretch. I mean, by trouble, I mean you could tell he was a little green. I think he has some talent there. Do you think he'll run? You had a nice point of why you think he will run this
Yeah,
weekend. I thought it was kind of soon.
Yeah, I think he'll run, and then you give some of these horses, they'll run them a couple times like back to back as 2-year-olds, and if they're not planning on sending them to the Breeders' Cup, they'll run them a couple times as 2-year-olds like pretty quickly, and then they'll give them a nice little break until probably the end of the 10-point preps, and then they bring them back if they're really horses that should be on the Derby trail. That's kind of been a trend in the past for horses that skip the Breeders' Cup. So, and if they're going good, if these 2-year-olds are running good right now, especially as we approach December and January, just keep them going. It definitely is hard to keep horses going for that long, but like we saw it last year with like Simplification. Simplification had a bunch of starts. They kind of just kept running them, and then now, unfortunately, the bottom fell out in the Preakness. But like it's not a bad thing. It's not like you have to only have like 3 starts heading into the Derby. So if they're going good and they're improving every race, I feel like the trainers are all for running them.
That's what you want to see. We're going to keep it brief. This is episode 2 of Kentucky Derby Prep Briefing. And I think starting for episode 3, Vinny, we should start just giving out who we think will win the Kentucky Derby on that episode at that time. So when we finally hit May, we can go back and clip off the one time we were right and play it and be like, look at that.
When we get the future wagers, though, we'll definitely have to pull those up when we get there for what we think are good odds on future bets. I know. I'm assuming, in my opinion, right now, I feel like Cave Rock is just going to run the table the rest of the 2-year-old year, and he's going to be like 10-1 in Derby Pool 1. It's going to be like ridiculous. So we'll see what happens.
Not another Baffert.
Well, I don't believe he can run this year still.
You're
so
right.
That's gonna be
Great point.
We have another year of saga.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great point by you. All right, then I'm on Cave Rock's for the Tim Yak Teen Barn, right? All right. Great job, Vinny. See you next week.